So, brief recap, we set up our pause states, and this is because the last capture failed. We set up a quick game, ability to win the game, and then also this score to increase this. The reason why it wasn't working earlier is because I made a very simple mistake. I had this inside of my input get key down, and then it's not supposed to be in there. It's just supposed to be in the if statement for when we were playing or we're invincible. So I built it and I also debugged it. And you can see right now if score is here, and right now this is set to 500. We go to 1,000, it goes to 1,000. I go to 1,000, 15. I go to 15. It's higher. 2,000. 2,500, 3,000, and you can see it's getting faster and faster and faster. So that was the only thing that I did that I messed up on. And I want to make sure the stuff that I don't want showed. All right, let's go back to what we're supposed to be doing. Score, health, lives, projectile speed. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is very quickly, and we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this today. We're going to go ahead and set up our spawner, at least first parts of our spawner. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an empty game object. We want to make sure it's 0 along the z-axis. And we can zero out everything. However, I want to make sure that the spawner is off screen. I want to spawn the enemies off screen. And then if we want to be able to just kind of look at it, let me do this. And I'm just going to name the spawner because it's going to spawn more than just enemies. Let's go ahead and create a very quick script. Well, not quick, but start out. Spawner. I guess in start, there's a way to draw like an imaginary cube around it, and I'm not remembering the code. So, and I know it's a debug. So we're going to go in here. Windows, help, API, reference. That was a gizmo. There we go. Draw cube. So I'm just going to take this. I'll just take these two. C#. So that's just the color. I'm just going to use color red, and it's draw cube, transform that position, and new vector. I guess that's the scale 1111. That's fine. I need this. On our spawner, let's grab that. That's right, it is. Let's do this. I need that whole thing. Forgot about that. Instead of on draw gizmo selected, we're just going to change this to on draw gizmos. Move that. Color red. There we go. And this is so. There we go. This doesn't render, but it just gives us something that we can look at if it's just an empty game object. Now, as for my enemy, oh, my enemy's right there. Yeah, put it right there. You won't see it in your game, but it just gives us something we can see. We'll put it about right here, off screen, and we'll delete our enemy right now. File, save scene as, go up. And what we're going to do is we'll create a public int how many to spawn. We'll create another public int how many are on the field. And this we're going to create a public void spawn enemies. The other thing we need to do is create a public game object and array. Just name that enemies. And let's say we're going to spawn 3 to start off with. So if we'll start just on for loop. So for int I is equal 0, I is equal to how many to spawn. And I plus plus. Then we're going to instantiate enemies, not transform, not position. Quaternion dot identity. And then what I'm going to do for each one we spawn, we're going to increment how many enemies on the field. And we'll do this right now. And then we'll put this in start. Now let's say just to start out, we want to oh geez, okay. Oh no, I don't need to do this. Oh yes, alright. What we're gonna do is just initially just spawn 3 enemies, and then we're gonna work this up so that we can spawn one more enemy incrementally. But to start off with, we're just gonna put this at 3. Do that, and we'll just have that in start. So now for our spawner, we go to our prefabs and we need to load in our enemy. We hit play, and we have 3. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to grab the spawner. So we will end up doing this game object find the spawner is equal to game object dot find, and we're just going to look for the name because it's not going to have a tag because we only have one spawner. And what we're going to do is, first off, we just tell the spawner to make sure we're not inside here, and it was before this. We just tell the spawner to find the spawner dot get component spawner dot how many enemies to spawn is equal to 1. And then what we'll do is we'll grab the function and then fire that. And then we'll have to do spawner. Just name this spawner is equal to find the spawner dot get component. Component that we need to get is our script component spawner, and then we need to cast it as a script spawner, and then we can tell spawner to fire our public function spawn new enemies. The other thing I might want to do is, just as a whole, let's say I don't want any more than 6 enemies on the field at any given time. I don't need that in here. We'll do it in here. Oh. There we go. And what we can do, let's go back in the spawner very quickly, is, let's say I don't want any more than total, let's say 6, let's say 9 enemies on the field. That's going to be a little nuts. And say, and what we're going to do, say if actually, we don't need that. We need this int total amount of enemies on field is equal to 9. And what we can do is, if how many enemies on the field is less than total amount of enemies on the field. And we'll put that in there. So we kind of have a stop valve for it, of sorts. And then add anything else. And then we can test it. I'm just going to make the player invincible for right now. So we have that, and then we can say What's our score to increase difficulty? I think we should still at 5,000. So now we got 4. And we got 5. And then let's say that's 1,006. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's see if it breaks. Nope, that's it. So that we can increase difficulty and spawn more enemies. Now the one thing we're doing is, and this might be a little much, but this is also a slow increment, that's why it's like increments of 10,000, is that we're reusing enemies over and over again. One of the things I generally put in here, and I'm going to kind of call it after this because I need to go over a assignment sheet with you, is that we can also get rid of enemies as well too. So let's say we spawn an enemy 5 times. It responds 5 times, and then we kill it, then something else comes on the screen. If I want to do that, and it's not very difficult, we got to go into enemies. And what I need to do region day 5. And this can just be private. And we'll go, okay, int how many times have I been respond, and let's say each one gets 5. Then what we can do is every time we do this, we reset this, not declare it, we increment or we decrement. Let's say we here decrement. So we do it, we decrement, we go back, we decrement, we go back, and it does it 5 times. And what I can do is, if how many times I have been respond is less than or equal to 0, then we destroy this game object. But before we destroy this game object, we need to tell the spawner, hey, there's less enemies on the field. And because I didn't make it static, I'm just going to go ahead and grab some stuff from the player. So I'm going to grab this. So we're going to find an object, and then we're going to grab this right here. This is not the thing I need, but it has part of it. And then what we're going to do is go back to spawner, and we got how many enemies are on the field. That's public. We're going to decrement that. And we just decremented it by 1, then we destroy the game object. So when we respawn, we're constantly fluctuating how many enemies are in the field, but also we also have the ability to spawn a new enemy as well too. That's going to have a random class. So it adds a little bit more of randomness to the game, but it's also okay. I've been recycled 5 times. It's time for me to go in the scrap heap, bring something new out, and proceed forward. And you can proceed. You can make something new there. Now, there is one other thing we have to do. Is if my spawner, let's say my spawner, and let's say if there are no enemies on the field, spawn a new enemy. So what we're going to do is, I can't use this. I'm going to keep this as is, but I'm going to grab this, and what we're going to do is, if how many enemies are on the field is equal to 0, then we go here and we do this, but we'll do how many enemies to spawn, and we'll do yeah, we'll keep it as is, and we hit build. All right, so that we get that, and I am not going to survive that, so let's go ahead and take all of these, the shields, come on, and the health down to 0. All right, so it's been respawned, but we still haven't fired another enemy. So there's something here that we're missing, or that I'm not seeing. We're not getting any errors. And I need to look at the spawner. So there. So how many there are on the field, it is not decrementing that. So what I'm going to do is this. Instead of having this as a just as an end, I'm going to make it a static variable. And then when we go to our enemy movement behavior, I'm going to have to change this. So I no longer need to find the enemy. I just need to get the script spawner dot how many enemies on the field, and we decrement it. And let's see if that works. And then we're getting more enemies back on the field. So that's a way to ensure that we never have a point where we don't have enemies on the field, but also make sure we don't have too many enemies on the field as well too. And I'm going to remember from last.